Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday night online loving kindness meditation. My name's Alex. It's wonderful to be here with you today. I love each and every one of you for being here. And it really, I don't know, I'm just really grateful to be able to do this. So this has been a really interesting time, hasn't it? Really interesting time. And before I start today's pajamas, I know you're all waiting with bated breath, know what they are. Today's pajamas are buffaloes. I like buffaloes, right? Don't we all like buffaloes? Buffaloes are majestic. So I have buffaloes today. I was going to have Travis play that song. It's called Buffalo Stance by Nena Cherry. It's like a late 90s song. I love that song as an intro to this meditation, but that might be a little bit too much. People might just log off because I thought they were on the wrong channel or something like that. But yes, getting back to what I was talking about before, it's a really interesting time. It's a really interesting time, and something that I said last week, and it's true, and we saw it to be true with all the protests and stuff that were going on this weekend, was I said, never underestimate our low tolerance for discomfort. Right? Never underestimate our low tolerance for discomfort. That actually comes from Pema Chodron, and it's true, isn't it? We've been in quarantine for a month. Just a month, and all these protests are going on, and people are getting all, bent out of shape and really upset, and a lot of anxiety is setting in. And for people who have those issues already, like depression, anxiety, absolutely understandable. And I wish that we could do something to help them. And I hope even this online class or any online class at the Dharma Bone Temple helps a little bit. But even people who don't have any of those issues, this is really starting to weigh on them. And I think that this meditation is a perfect antidote to that. It's a perfect antidote for our anxiety, for ourselves, and for others. Because as you know, a lot of people are dying, and I know that's weighing on you too. It certainly weighs on me. And so this is a loving kindness meditation for anybody who is new. And if you are new, this is your first time to the online loving kindness class, you can type something in the box there and just say hi, and give you a little shout out. It's wonderful to have you here. The format of this class is the same as the format of all the other classes. So we're going to have this little short introduction, which I'm going to do a little bit more talking, not too much more. We're going to have a loving kindness meditation that I'm going to prepare you for. And then afterwards, question and answer. I might also have something to say as well, but question and answer. I really, especially now, I really want to hear from you. I want to hear not only what questions you have, either on the meditation or about Buddhism in general, but I want to know how you're doing. I really want to know how you're doing. And I can't tell. That's the really, that's the shitty part about these online classes. Like, I don't know how you're doing. I can't sit there. I can't see you. I can't look into your eyes and know how you're doing. Because even if you don't tell me, I've done this long enough to know how you're doing just by looking at you. Right? So, or at least to get a good idea. So, I want to know how you're doing. How are you coping with this lockdown and this quarantine? Are you taking care of yourself? Are you able to go for a walk? Because that's one of the things you can do. And what are you doing to take care of yourself, to take care of your mental health? Are you meditating any more or any less? How are your meditations going? Whatever you want to tell me. Whether you want to, actually, I don't care what you want to tell me. That's fine. Whatever you want to tell me is perfectly fine, right? So, so I was thinking about this today, or actually yesterday, and one of the difficult things about this loving kindness meditation for Westerners is doing loving kindness for ourselves. And so today, I'm going to introduce you to another way of doing this practice for yourself. As you know, we either recite phrases or we project or radiate loving kindness to others. But when we do it for ourselves, either we can feel our heart, or we can feel our heart, or we can repeat phrases to ourselves. So these phrases that we're going to do for ourselves are going to be different than the phrases we do for others, right? The greatest love that we can give ourselves really is the forgiveness. Forgiveness is such a powerful tool that we use. And there's a whole forgiveness meditation. As a matter of fact, Travis, who's sitting here, has a forgiveness meditation that he did, and it's on the Dharma Bum channel website there. So if you want to take a look at that, that's a wonderful thing to do as well. But just for the part of doing loving kindness for ourselves, it's going to be kind of a forgiveness meditation. And forgiveness is the greatest love we can give ourselves, especially now. When things get difficult, often it amplifies the self-denigration that we have for ourselves in the West. And I think this is a wonderful antidote for that. And in this, self-denigration it really does a number on us, doesn't it? Right? Especially when things get difficult like this quarantine. So that's what we're going to do. I'm not going to tell you what the phrases are until we get there. And then I'm going to talk a little bit about why I chose these phrases, because these phrases actually come from another practice. And I don't want to get into that just a little bit. But that's it. That's what we're going to do. The word that we use, if you're new, is metta, M-E-T-T-A. And metta is this wonderful ancient word, comes from the Pali language, which is the language we think what the Buddha spoke. And as in a lot of ancient languages, one word can mean a lot of things in modern day English. And it's no different with this word metta. And this word metta can mean loving kindness, unconditional friendliness, goodwill. And it's simply a wish to be happy. A wish to be happy ourselves, a wish for others to be happy. And not only a wish to be happy, but a wish for others to do the things that cause happiness. Right? So I wish for you to do the things that cause happiness. And so what is that? What are the things that cause happiness? Right? Our positive words, our positive thoughts, our positive deeds. Just like it says on the back of all the Dharma Bum Temple t-shirts, think good thoughts, speak good words, do good deeds. That's it. That's the practice. And this practice actually contributes to our loving kindness. Sorry. All right. So, what else did I want to say? I don't know. All right. So, if you're seated on a cushion, you just want to make sure that your hips are higher than your legs, so you're making this really firm, solid tripod with your body, so you're not likely to move around too much. If you're seated on a chair, you just want to make sure, or on the side of your bed, you just want to make sure that your feet are flat on the floor with your legs a few inches apart. Your back is nice and straight. So I like to make my back super duper straight and then just kind of relax. And so my shoulders have dropped, but my core is still somewhat engaged, keeping my back straight. Right? And so as you can see, I'm sitting up nice and straight. And if you kind of slump during the time that you're meditating and you get kind of like this, that's okay. Just sit back up again, and that's fine. Don't get down on yourself just because you get out of position. Your hands Your hands can be anywhere that's comfortable. So I like to put my hands on my legs or in my lap. It all depends. I usually alternate them. All right. My head is nice and straight, and maybe tucking my chin under just a little bit. And then the eyes, and you can keep the eyes open and you can close the eyes. Usually in the West, we just close the eyes. And if you want, you could also like half close your eyes and look 45 degrees down past your nose in this kind of soft, unfocused gaze, just kind of like that. And this is actually like you'll see in all these Buddhist tankas and all the Buddhist statues, the Buddha is often depicted this way. So you can do that as well. So just do what's comfortable. So we're going to spend just a few minutes on the breath, and then we're going to get into our loving kindness meditation. Also think about what questions you might want to ask. So a good thing to do is like say, before we start the meditation goes, I don't know what question I want to ask. I wonder what question I want to ask. And so then do the meditation and then ask yourself that question right after. Right? Type in the box. I'll be happy to talk to you. I'm doing this again. That's all right. I know. All right. Get my handy dandy timer. Got this. All right. Let's go do this. Now that's my timer. And so just allow your eyes to close, making sure you have that seated position that's nice and comfortable for you, nice and sustainable, so you're not likely to move around too much. At first, let's start just to pay a gentle attention to the breath. Focusing your breath at the base of the nostrils, feeling the air go in and out as you breathe. Or focusing on the belly or the chest, feeling its expansion and contraction as you breathe. Maybe taking a deep breath all the way in and all the way out. At first, not forcing the breath, letting it be quite easy and quite natural. Developing this attitude of no struggle. Let's not struggle with our breath or our seated position. So just for the next couple of minutes, we'll just rest as gently as we can in the sensations of the breath. If you have a thought that arises, it's okay. Just come back to the breath. You don't need to beat yourself up about it. It happens to everybody. And now, always ask yourself, and do this for the entirety of the meditation if you can, always ask yourself, what kind of breath would be good right now? Do I need to take a deeper breath? Do I need to take a shallower breath? Maybe I need to wake myself up and take some deeper breaths and then get back to the loving kindness meditation. Always ground yourself with the breath, no matter what you're doing. And so, to begin our practice of metta, of loving kindness, we're going to start with our benefactor. And in Buddhism, our benefactor is someone who has shown us great love and great kindness. Someone, you just think of this person and your heart starts to overflow and your heart starts to get bigger and expand with so much love for this person or persons. It could be anyone close to you, mother, father, brother, sister, best friend, or just someone who you admire very much. They can be living, they can be dead, it doesn't matter. Perhaps not a romantic partner, but other than that, other than a romantic partner, it's fair game. And just recall their own wish to be happy and your wish for them to be happy. And to do this practice, you can repeat certain phrases. Phrases like, may you be happy, and say their name. May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world. And you can either say those phrases or another phrase of your own device, so long as it has a loving and kind intention. Or you can just simply radiate goodwill, radiate loving kindness from your heart to theirs. So you can just imagine this beam of loving kindness from your heart to theirs. And that could be the meditation. So the choice is yours. And you can imagine yourself, if you want, sitting underneath the Bodhi tree, just like a Buddha. You can imagine yourself as a Buddha doing this heart practice for your benefactor. So we'll spend the next few minutes doing this metta for our benefactor. And now shifting our focus just a little bit from doing this for our benefactor to now imagining our benefactor doing this practice for us. If you had any idea how loved you were by the number of people who love you, you would be amazed. There are so many people who love you. And if you love your benefactor and have love for your benefactor, they probably have love for you too. Otherwise, they wouldn't do all these wonderful and kind things for you. They wouldn't have meant so much to you. So just imagine your benefactor saying these phrases for you. Either saying the phrases, "May you be happy," and say your name. "May you be safe from inner and outer danger. May you be well in body and mind. May you be at peace and live at ease in this world." Or you can just imagine them radiating loving kindness from their heart to yours. And it's even helpful, if you wish, to put your hand over your heart and to see what your heart's response is to this loving kindness from your benefactor. Can you let that in? Or is there some resistance? If there's some resistance, can you breathe into that? Doing your best just to let it in, just to receive. And so for the next few moments, we'll imagine our benefactor doing this practice for us. And now it's time to do this practice of loving kindness for ourselves. We're going to combine this a little bit with kind of a forgiveness type of meditation, because the phrases that we're going to use are simply that. And so what I'd like for you to do is just to call to mind your own wish to be happy. And also think of the ways that you've kind of sabotaged your own happiness. All of the things that you've done, all of the ways that you've wanted to be happy but did the very thing that caused unhappiness. And when these things aren't addressed, they just go deeper and make us even more unhappy. So it's time to forgive ourselves for this. And so the 4 phrases that we're going to use are, when we're thinking about this, these phrases are, I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Again, you can say these phrases with your hand over your heart. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. You can put your hand over your heart. You can smile, being even more gentle with yourself. So we'll just do this for the next few moments. I am sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And then finally, it's a lot of loving kindness. And how we can do this practice for all beings in all directions. You can start out small with like maybe everyone in your neighborhood, and everyone in San Diego, everyone in California, everyone in the US, everyone in North America, everyone in the world, everyone in the universe. You can just see how far out you're able to go. Think of all the people who are dealing with this COVID-19. And if you want, you could just do it just for them and their families who are in a time of great need and can use some thoughts of loving kindness. Either saying the phrases or just radiating loving kindness from your heart to theirs. Either one's okay. So we'll finish our practice with this, just for a few moments. So just open your eyes when you're ready. So let's just take the next minute or two out in silence as you stretch your arms and you stretch your legs. Ask yourself if you have a question, or just let me know how you are and think about what you want to say. Type it in the box. Then we'll begin. Okay. That's good for me. So before we take some questions, and during the time that I'm talking, if you have a question, if you just want to let me know how you're doing, I would love to hear that. I love this little bit of a change that we did here when we did the kind of forgiveness for ourselves as metta. And so to let you know what this comes from a Hawaiian indigenous practice called Ho'oponopono. And Ho'oponopono is a practice of reconciliation and forgiveness that they do in the indigenous people in Hawaii and like some other South Pacific nations as well. And I was in Sedona about 2 months ago, and for those of you who don't know, I take one vacation a year. It's a part of that is in Sedona because it's magical and I love it. It's like a second home to me, and I love hiking and I love the mountains there are just amazing, and the Red Rocks. And it's just I could spend all hour talking about that. But I was there and I was talking to a friend of mine. I went to a school there and I visited the school, and I was talking to my advisor there at the time. And I heard of Ho'oponopono before, but I didn't know what it was about. I wasn't curious enough to research it and figure it out. But she was talking to me about it and how much she loved it. And she goes, oh, it's these phrases, and I have these phrases taped to my computer here. And like whenever I get down on myself, or whenever I have like a negative kind of thought, I always look at those phrases and I repeat to myself, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you. And they're different, you can put them in a slightly different order if you want to, but those are the phrases. And she was just remarking, I really have a lot of respect for her and I admire her a great deal. And I had forgotten about that until just a couple of days ago. I don't know why I started thinking about it. I think I was looking at my pictures from Sedona or something like that. And I looked at that and I thought, how freaking Buddhist is that? These phrases fit so perfectly into a Buddhist practice. Perfectly. And the thing that I started like just smiling about, when I thought about that was, and I don't know how much you know about the different Buddhisms that are around the world, the different countries that practice Buddhism, but when Buddhism first came to all of these different countries, whether it was Tibet or China or Japan or anywhere in Southeast Asia, Thailand, Cambodia, Burma, Laos, it always mixed with the native kind of like earth-based spirituality of the time. And then it kind of morphed over a certain, for centuries, and it became the Buddhism of that country. So in Tibetan Buddhism mixed with the Bon religion, B-O-N, which is an earth-based spirituality. And that became Tibetan Buddhism. So in Tibetan Buddhism, there's a lot of that Bon spirituality mixed in. And it's the same in all, China, Japan, all of those different countries. And I was thinking, and I was smiling because of it. Now, because we don't know what American Buddhism is yet. Buddhism is so new to America. And how it got to America is so different than how it got to all these other countries centuries ago, thousands of years ago, that we don't know what American Buddhism is going to be. And I always get a chuckle and I go, wouldn't it be amazing if American Buddhism mixed with the earth-based, the native spiritualities of like our native people. And we have like so many native tribes in Hawaii and here in the U.S. So many wonderful practices from our indigenous brothers and sisters. That wouldn't it be? And I just bet you they would mix perfectly. How amazing would that be? I just get a chuckle. It just makes my heart warm to think about that. Anyway, that's where this practice comes from, and that's why I decided to kind of do this as something just a little bit different. And you can even use those phrases as your only forgiveness meditation, like when you do forgiveness for yourself. So anyway, that's kind of where my head was today, and kind of why I did that. And then I was thinking about buffaloes. Buffaloes is like a very important Native American spirituality. So I don't know, they all just kind of gel together. It's perfect. And all right. I hope you've had time. Do we have any questions?
Valerie shared that she had 3 benefactors and that it was lovely.
Wonderful, Valerie, because I think we've answered this question a lot of times. You can have as many benefactors as you want, right? Many benefactors as you want. Like if you still want to stick to one person, you can have 2 or 3 or 4. That's perfectly fine. So I'm glad that these instructions are sinking in without me having to say it. It's awesome. I don't know how to do this. I'm not doing this right. This looks like like this, thing like this, right? Sorry. This looks like a croissant or a scone. Sorry.
Bill said that the forgiveness part was very touching and needed.
Yes, isn't it? It's times like this when we go through difficult times and we need a lot of resilience that our self-denigration usually gets exacerbated, because we even get more down on ourselves. Like, oh, why can't I just do this like everyone else is doing this? Why am I getting so, upset about this? And again, it's, another wonderful recollection is to think, how many lives am I saving by wearing a mask? How many lives am I saving by staying home? Those are other wonderful recollections. So, yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Bill. I appreciate your comment.
Marisa loves the idea of pairing native beliefs in Buddhism. She also asked why for the recommendation that the benefactor not be a romantic partner.
That's a good question too. So, Marisa, and for everybody else too, the reason why we generally will say that it's best to stay away from a romantic partner is because, sometimes they're so close to you, you're so attached to them, and we know it, we know you're attached to them, it's okay, that saying these phrases can sometimes have the opposite effect. Sometimes saying these phrases could bring up angry thoughts, like may you be free, may you be happy, may you be safe, from inner and outer danger. Didn't you leave the heater on? And then these things pop into your head about things that how come you didn't take the garbage out? All these different types of things, these little nitpicky things, and sometimes they're even bigger things that will pop into your head because there's an attachment there. And so I'm not saying you can't do it. I'm saying generally we say it's probably best not to do it, just because sometimes the opposite effect can creep up. But if you really, really want to do it, you can really do it if you want to. Just be careful, that's all. So I was also thinking that, while we're waiting for some more questions here, so please type away. I was thinking about Wicca, or Wicca actually falls under the pagan umbrella, and they have a lot of earth-based spiritualities as well. There's like pagan and general pagan and Wicca and Odinism, Odin something like that, or the different types of earth-based spiritualities that kind of fall under that umbrella. And the reason I bring that up is because we've actually had some people of those beliefs come to the temple and wonder, hey, are our beliefs compatible with Buddhist practice? And absolutely they are. Absolutely. Pagan, Wicca, whatever, they kind of get much maligned in our society and in television and things like that. Sometimes you see things like Charmed or whatever, and it's like, oh, hey, that's pretty cool. But it's a beautiful practice. If you I haven't really studied it a lot, but I've studied it some. It's a wonderful and beautiful practice, and a lot of those practices and core beliefs fit very nicely into Buddhism. So if you're out there and you're Wicca or some format of pagan, and welcome to the Dharma Temple. Your practices fitted very well here. So just wanted to let you know that. What else do you have for me? Let me know how you're doing, at least. I'd love to know how you're doing.
Brian wants to know where the Dharma Temple's Buddhist practices stem from any particular region.
Oh, that's a really good question. And the answer is no. And yes, all regions, but no particular region. Kind of what we like to say at the Dharma Temple is that, there are many forms of Buddhism, and we don't advocate one kind over another, right? For me personally, my wish for you is to come and to meditate and to find your own truth through whatever Buddhist practice you feel is most comfortable for you. And, kind of like in Christianity, you have like the Catholics and Methodists and Presbyterians and Protestants and Baptists and Southern Baptists and Evangelicals and, different types, the different Orthodoxes, Greek Orthodox and whatever, there's so many that fall under that umbrella. The same is generally true for Buddhism as well. So there's Tibetan Buddhism, and there's Thai Buddhism, and there's Cambodian Buddhism, and there's Korean Buddhism, and Japanese, and all these different countries where Buddhism has taken a foothold. They have their own form of Buddhism, and Buddhism, like I said before, mixed with the native earth-based spirituality and became the Buddhism specific to that country. Buddhism isn't like Catholicism, where there's like the Pope. There's no Pope equivalent in Buddhism. And so what we really want to do to avoid any kind of sectarianism, because that's the problem with religion, isn't it? Like, my religion is better than yours. My Buddhism is better than yours. And we get a lot of that. Believe me, in Buddhism, there's a lot of that. You get, it's actually pretty funny. It probably isn't, but to me, it's hilarious. Because I used to be that way. Because, I grew up in the Theravada. I got most of my education in the Theravada school of Buddhism, and it's wonderful, and I love it. And it's what I most connect with. But Zen is wonderful. Tibetan Buddhism is wonderful, even though it's really, really, really different, right? So we really want to avoid any sectarian strife in Buddhism, and so we want you to come and to act as a bridge. So if you're interested in Zen, we can point you somewhere, or you can come to the Zen class. If you're interested in Tibetan Buddhism, there's places we can point you to. There's this wonderful center up in Escondido that you will love. I've been there many times. It's lovely, and they're amazing. If you really like Theravada, there's this wonderful monastery that you can go to up in Valley Center called Metta Forest. And I've been there many times, and Travis has been there many times. If you want Pure Land, there's a Pure Land place we can point you to, I think. And with all of the different ones as well. And so that's kind of our philosophy here at the Dharma Bum Temple. We want to avoid any sectarian strife in Buddhism. In Buddhism, the Buddha Dharma is Four Noble Truths, Eightfold Path, paramitas. The number of paramitas is different depending on what school. But be a good person. Yeah, be a good person. That's our practice. Okay, we've got time for one quick one. Or at least let me know how you're doing. It's okay. I want to know. I'm genuinely interested, and people think that I'm not interested. I am genuinely interested in how you're doing. Your welfare is of interest to me. It's of concern to me. No one? No one? Travis is shaking his head. I'm doing great. I wish you were here and I could see your shining, smiling faces, but otherwise I'm doing great.
Bill shared that they don't normally suffer from anxiety, but they are now.
I understand. And I hope this class helps you. And all of our classes help you and help everybody out there. And I know it's a difficult time for everybody. So please just be as kind as you can. Know that what you're doing by staying inside is saving somebody's life. I guarantee it is saving somebody's life. With what I've learned about epidemiology and virology over the last few months, actually about the last year, I know that you're saving somebody's life, and if you could just meditate on that, if you just think about that you are saving somebody's life, and isn't that something to be grateful for? Guys, thank you so much. I love each and every one of you. I honestly do, and thank you for coming here. Let's join our palms together at our hearts, please. And may the benefits of this discussion, this meditation, be received by all beings in all directions. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be joyful and at ease. May all beings be happy. May all beings be loved and seen for the beautiful, radiant beings that they are, that you are. Thank you for coming. Or thank you for being online. Thank you for being you. Again, I love you all. We'll see you next time. Bye now.